Hello, and welcome back. This is Barrett from the C4 Cyber Club here at Cypress College. And in this video, we will cover the Ethical Hacking Lab series for network analysis. So, network analysis is often called packet sniffing as well. And we'll be taking a look at these tools here using tcpdump via the command line. We'll capture some pcap files, analyze them within Wireshark, which is the more graphical user interface version of packet analyzing. And we'll also take a look at analyzing with Explico. Okay, so in this lab, we'll essentially be using only the Kali machine. We'll move over there and we'll open the terminal. So as usual, if you're using a command for the first time, always a good idea to take a look at the manual page. So you can see tcpdump, dump traffic on a network. Very simple. So this is an easy way to just collect a bunch of raw traffic, right? So this could be something that you run all day long on your network, and then you can take that capture file and load it into something like Wireshark, where you can more easily search for particular packets that you're looking to analyze. So let me close out of that. Now this command here will essentially start tcpdump. We're going to tell it to interface with our ETH0 interface, and it's going to write to this testdump.pcap file. Okay, so we'll type in tcpdump. And so now you see we are currently listening. So it'll, it's just going to sit here and wait. It will listen as long as you want until you Control-C and cancel this. It will continue to listen for packets. So what we'll need to do now is generate some noise, generate some packets. So let's open up a new window, new terminal window, and we'll just do some random things. So we're gonna connect to the OWASP VM through SMB client, basically accessing some shares that are available to generate some packet information. We'll add the IP of the OWASP BWA machine, and you see it asks for the password. So remember, if we look at the topology, we are currently accessing this machine. So we're going to want to put that password in, which is OWASP BWA. Login failure, I must have mistyped. So let me go ahead and press up. I'm going to run this again. There we go. Apologies. So now we get a list back of all the different shares available on this machine. So let's go ahead and access the OWASP BWA share right here. Okay, it's going to ask for the password again. All right, so now you can see that we are within that share folder. We type in help. We get a list of commands that we can execute. If we do ls, just for a listing of the folder that we're currently accessing, we see what looks like a bunch of installation files. You see a lot of things that are likely pulled from GitHub here, the git gets. So a bunch of random files here, and we'll go ahead and exit now. Because remember, all we're essentially doing at this point is just generating a bunch of network traffic that we're going to take a look and analyze. So I can close this terminal window. We're still capturing here, and I'll open up the Iceweasel browser. And let's go ahead and navigate to the OWASP BWA website as well. It looks like that pops up. It's the 192.168.68.12. This loads up a website, so we're accessing through HTTP, and I think the lab, yeah, it tells us to come to the TikiWiki section. Any of this, you can click literally anywhere. We're just generating some random traffic here. So nothing particular. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's exit out. And now we can press Control-C, and you'll see that stops the capture, and we have 457 packets that were received during that time. So our next step will be, if we do ls here, you see we have that test dump.pk or pcap, the pcap. So let's go ahead and open Wireshark. And you probably remember from previous labs, we have started a capture on the actual network interface. But in this case, we're not going to do that. We're just going to open up that pcap file. So it's kind of like frozen in time, right? We're only going to analyze this particular pcap. So when we open this up, just a brief refresher of Wireshark. Remember, we have the different columns up top here. We have the number of packets shown. So if we scroll all the way down, we see that 457 packets that it mentioned that we captured. Timing, this is the timestamp. So as of now, it is sorted in order. So we went from 0 all the way to 126 seconds that we spent capturing these packets. The source and destination, of course, this is the best way to see the conversation happening back and forth. So we are, the Kali machine, remember, is the .2 host. The OWASP BWA machine is the .68.12. The protocol, it's going to tell you, okay, this is a TCP, this is SMB. This is likely when we were doing the SMB client, the Samba file shares. If you scroll down a bit, you'll see HTTP as well. We have a ARP broadcast right here at the very beginning. Length is going to be the packet length, and info is, more information about the packet. It's going to tell you, it's also going to list TCP flags here as well. Some of this is a little bit gets into more networking details, but a lot of really good useful information there. Okay, so also most importantly is the filter. So this is how the best way, let's say I want to only see SMB packets. You type in SMB, you want to make sure it's in all lowercase. If you notice and you type in all uppercase, it's in red. That's no good. So it needs to be all lowercase, and then you press apply. So you see it doesn't delete the other packets, it only filters. So we can see we're only looking at packets related to SMB. And you could see here, like I was saying before, it's literally a conversation happening. These source and destination IPs, they keep swapping back and forth because you're getting requests, responses, and this is during analysis. This is how you could see this conversation replayed back. All right, now we'll take a look at HTTP, and we're going to see something similar. You have, the various conversation. You could take a look at the time here. So at about 105 seconds into our packet captures, when we opened up that web browser, went to the website, and it looks like we continued that up until the 118 seconds. So we pretty much spent only about 13 seconds or so on that. And you can see various things here. In this case, we were going through HTTP. It's unsecure, clear text, so you can see a lot of information here, image files. You could actually look and extract the image files from this as well. If we had happened to log into a username and password or something in HTTP port 80 clear text, that would show up here as well, which is why using HTTPS is super important, right? And we could also, let's clear out this filter. If we just choose one of these TCP protocols here, we could follow TCP streams as well. So if this will pop up here, but you'll notice if I close out of that, it changes the filter to where we are only looking at that one particular packet that we right-clicked on and followed the TCP stream. So that filtered out to only 17 packets that were related to that initial request. Okay, so let me go ahead and clear. And that covers the Wireshark portion. So let me go ahead and close that. And now finally, we're going to take a look at analyzing traffic with Explico, or some may call it Explico. So this is command line driven. So remember, we have the tcpdump file here. So let me go ahead and get -h here to look at the options that we're going to be using. So this -m, we're basically saying this is the capture type module. So it's a capture type of pcap. And then the -f is for the actual file that we'll be using, the tcpdump.pcap. So we'll say explico -m pcap -f for file tcpdump.pcap. You can see it starts working on it. It's analyzing and happened pretty quickly. I mean, it's a pretty small pcap file. Other pcaps would be much larger, so it might take a bit. But now when we do ls, we see that we have an xdecode folder here now. So let's go ahead and change directory into xdecode. If I do ls, you see we have this geomap. This is actually useful for Google Earth, for geolocation. And then we also have an ARP and dig folder. If you go into dig, this is where it actually pulls image files. And let's go ahead and look at that up in the file browser. Let's see, we need to go to xdecode, dig. And so you see it actually pulled image files that were loaded from our web browsing. And then for ARP, this just pulled a text file and this pretty much just dumped a ARP table where you can see IP addresses that are binded and mapped to particular MAC addresses. All right, so that covers the lab. Once again, we covered network analysis. We generated some traffic to sniff using tcpdump, all in the command line. We opened that up using Wireshark, the graphical user interface mode. And then we also did some analysis and pulling of this data and image files using Explico. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.